Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. What an amazing performance it was. I know it doesn't even come close to the in-person experience, but getting to watch the band and reading all the so much fun chats just really brought back so many great and amazing memories. Thank you all so much for being here with us for this very unique PittStop experience. Thank you so much to everybody who donated. It means the world to us. Oh, I'm hearing myself. That was weird. Sorry about that. All right. So first off, I really want to thank City of Asylum, and especially Alexis and her team. And we truly could not have done this event without them. Like truly, they were so flexible and amazing in making this event happen. So thank you so much for putting this amazing stream together for us. All right, so now I'm super excited to welcome Paul, Sara, and Lisa. I want to take this time also to thank Paul and the Boilermaker Jazz Band. Your music is what makes this year PittStop. You know, we wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you so much for your flexibility and your talent and your amazing music. You made this year very special for us. So thank you so much for being here and joining us and for this beautiful concert and stream.
Well, let me just say that if it wasn't for PittStop Lindy Hop and City of Asylum, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to play with my musicians that I normally play, 150 to 200 times a year with. That isn't happening anymore right now. And I haven't played together with those guys for more than a couple songs, a little couple things we've done over the summer since March. That was the first time we've really been together to play like for real, like a real sort of like gig type, where we're playing, more than a couple tunes in 8 months, 9 months, however long it's been. So it was really cathartic for us and beautiful for us, and the fact that we pushed through all the crazy things that happened with the new restrictions and stuff, and figured out a way to be able to do it, along with PittStop and City of Asylum and us going crazy like Wednesday and Thursday to try and make it happen. But it was a beautiful afternoon. You guys might not know, Alexis knows, like some people from the neighborhood just started showing up in the alley where the crazy little space was where we were playing. And some people set up lawn chairs and everything. And it was just like, it was one of those beautiful little moments, in these difficult times. So thank you all for asking me to play for you all again this year and for making it happen. It was a struggle, but we did it.
As many of you know, Paul has played for us every year that PittStop has happened, which, for those of you who don't know, this is our 20th year hosting PittStop. And something that's going to make everyone feel real weird is that you guys have been coordinating and playing at PittStop since I was 4 years old.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Right? That makes everybody on the stream feel terrible. So speaking of early PittStop, we got a bunch of really amazing questions from people in the chat and on the Facebook group. So the first thing I want to go to is for whoever wants to answer, what was your favorite PittStop memory and or strangest PittStop memory?
Lisa.
Oh man, people think I have a memory. I have to get my buddy Joe on the phone because he's my external memory drive. But oh man, one of my favorite memories is the year that we had the extra hour. We happened to be on the weekend of the extra hour. And, one might think we would have an extra hour of sleep, but no, we made the band play an extra hour and had a long late night. And that was the band who played both the evening dance and then the late night dance, plus an extra hour. They rocked, but they were very kind and we kept dancing and it was great.
Well, and that to me epitomizes what PittStop really is. It's about appreciation for the dance, the music, the musicians, and the dancers. Like it's really like this relationship, and it's all about getting together to have a good time with one another. And there isn't really like any other agenda but that. And in a way, like, but that's what makes it what it is. and has been, and hopefully will continue to be. Fun times, great music, great dancing, great friends, and we just keep going. You know what I mean? That's what it is, right, Lisa? Tell me I'm
Oh
wrong.
yeah. Yep. And we're going to keep going, definitely. We'll be back.
Yeah, definitely. I know there's been times around your table, Lisa, where this statement has been made, like, can we do this again? Like, does anybody still want to do this? And every time we say, yeah, you know, we'll keep going. And then we're so blessed that so many of you guys at home show up to our event and come out and help us keep doing this, even when we're all stuck at home. So that's been awesome. I think one of my favorite pit stop memories would be just my first pit stop. You know, when like at the end of a band set, when everybody's like swarming the stage, and at CMU when the floor starts bouncing, like it's just, we're all, you know, there's just so many people there, super passionate and excited about the same thing that I was excited in. So my first year, when I'm like looking around going, okay, like this is like, I need to do this again. And I feel really blessed that so many people, especially like college students and whatnot, at the end of the weekend would say, you know, I don't know what this is. I've never come to something like this before, but I'm coming back next year. I was like, please do, and pick up some cards, because there's a lot of other events in our area, throughout the country, throughout the world, that do this too. So yeah, come back and see us, grab some cards, go see our friends. Like, welcome to the club, welcome to the community. So it's probably my favorite memory. One of my weirder memories, I just smile when we had some members that started wearing costumes to like the Saturday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
So that's always been super fun. I found a photo of somebody in a T-Rex costume dancing. What was the other one? The Sesame Street characters. Like we've had some interesting costumes on the floor. So that's always fun. Get a little weird Saturday afternoon. I appreciate it.
So real quick before the next question, Sarah, there's an album you should check out, because you made this off the cuff comment called Welcome to the Club. There's a record that Nat King Cole made with Count Basie called Welcome to the Club. Everybody should know that record because it's great. And that is what it is. It's like, welcome to this beautiful community, you know, and yeah, here we are 20 years later, right? Lisa and I met a few years before that.
Yeah.
So we've known each other for more than 20 years.
Kind of scary. Yeah, because we started with Paul at the Edgewood Club, which was our dance that we started, I guess mid-'89 or something.
But I met you even before that. I met you, well, no, actually probably about that same year, playing with George G at CMU Spring Carnival. That's where I first met
You used to play with George, that's right. Yeah. That'd be like 84 and plus.
Right. I was still in college.
Yeah.
So, all right, Arielle, we can go on like this and answer no more questions.
And I'm sure everybody else are just happy to be like, wow, tell us stories. But yeah, I think my favorite pit stop memory was just last year I got to MC, and same thing with Sarah, just like being able to just like get to view our amazing, beautiful pit stop family and everybody who comes. You guys just are, I know there are like a lot of really great scenes around the country. No shade to any other scene, but like Pittsburgh does have the best. And like this event is some of the best people who come. So thank you all for coming and making this so special for everyone. Lisa, another pit stop history question that we got. What is the history of the soup cans?
That was, boy, I'm not going to remember what year, but one of our years, our theme was about Andy Warhol.
Very Pittsburgh.
Yeah, very Pittsburgh. Andy Warhol, came from Pittsburgh, and there's a whole museum for him, just a few blocks from where the band was playing. And where City of Asylum is. And so that was our theme one year. So we had soup cans, and that's the year we started our food drive. And we've been doing our food drive ever since. And I vaguely feel like that might've been 2011. I just can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the background to the soup cans.
Cool. All right, well, we've talked a little bit about the past. Now we're getting some questions about the future. Paul, what is the future of the Boilermaker Jazz Band?
Oh my goodness. Well, Right now, it's like, can we just get back
Right.
to playing
Who has any plans right now?
human beings, like in real life, like that's all we, you know, as, as wonderful as it was to be able to play in that little, I don't know what you want to call it, Alexis, like an empty space in between the buildings.
It's just an empty lot. City of Asylum uses it in the past before we had a dedicated building that had a performance space in it. We would put up a tent on that lot and have concerts every summer.
Okay.
So when there's not a tent, then it's just an empty lot.
And so we were very happy that they had that space available to us. But I can tell you that playing the first few songs, and it was Alexis and her assistant, and then Emily from PittStop were the three people there. And then all of a sudden, like some people from the neighborhood started to come. And at one point we might have had, 5 or 6 people like in the little street, very tiny street, listening and clapping. And just hearing that, those few people, like, you don't even know like what that meant, how we felt about that, like that they clapped at the end of a song. It's so weird to like play a song and then nobody claps. So Arielle, the future for Boilermaker Jazz Band is nothing different than we've ever been doing for 20 years of PittStop Lindy Hop, for even the 10 years the band existed before that. It's just playing the best jazz we can play for people, and hopefully it makes them happy and they go home feeling good. That's all it's ever been for me, and literally, like, I don't need any more than that. That to me is, and I hope tonight felt that way for everybody as much as it could, like through your TV or computer screen. That's it. It's not really, like, people ask me these like deep questions, and it's like I give them these like really like kind of like these like simplistic answers, but I'm just being honest. That's what it is.
Paul, you just have such a sage wisdom to you that we just assume you know all the answers. Paul, you must know everything. We'll just keep asking you questions.
Well, but like when Sara said, like when she was at the gig at like PittStop Lindy Hop, and then everybody was like cheering and rushing the stage. Do you know what that feels like for us? Like when we end a set and everybody's like stomping on the floor and like running up to the stage and screaming and going bananas. Like, like that's it doesn't get any better than that for us. That's why we play 5 encores for you guys. It's just what it is.
Well, we're so glad that you're willing to stick around, because we love you. And in the chat, I can just see all the people be like, we love Paul. So also in the chat, we've apparently have crowdsourced the info that the cans are from 2013. So thank you to everybody who worked to find that answer for us. Also a question from the chat. Who are the people in the PittStop logo?
And I'm going to be embarrassed because I'm not going to pull up last names, but we had a dance group for a while called the Steeltown Stompers, and that was Moon Young, who's now living in the Boston area, and Deanna, who still lives around here. And that was a snap from one of the performances we did.
Yeah, that's been a cool logo to have, and it was cool. We made it special for this virtual year, and we hope to never use that logo ever again.
No more virtual.
Yeah, we love to see everybody in person. That would I think make everyone very happy. So for a totally not PittStop related question for everyone, including Alexis, whoever would like to answer this, what are you making for Thanksgiving? Paul, this was actually oddly enough directed at you, but I would love to hear what everyone's making. So Paul, you have to start, because the people want to know for whatever reason.
Yeah. No, I just make the usual stuff, but actually the one thing that might be a little bit different is that my mother had a great recipe for, they call it stuffing, but it's really just a casserole, but it's like a cornbread and Italian sausage, and then the usual, like, celery, onion, and all that kind of bit. So that's one of our favorites at Thanksgiving that my mother used to make that she's passed down to me and my brothers. So yeah, it's good.
We do all the traditional stuff, but we always have chopped liver as well. That's probably because we always have a Jewish Thanksgiving, but we do have the pumpkin pie and apple pie and turkey and cranberry sauce and everything. And, but yeah, we always have to have chopped liver, both vegetarian and non-vegetarian.
Vegetarian chopped liver. That's
Right.
different.
I can pass out the recipe.
Everybody text Lisa. She will send you the recipe for vegetarian chopped liver.
Well,
Sarah,
I
do you
was
have anything
just,
special? Or
I
Alexis?
was just gonna get takeout, but now I think I need to text Lisa.
Your Thanksgiving has just gotten better. You're welcome.
There we go. Yeah. No, literally nothing special. Just Thanksgiving takeout from the restaurant at the hotel where my roommate works.
That's how you do it.
Yep. No cooking.
Yeah, nothing super exciting at my house because we're not going to go see either of our parents this year. It's just going to be a whole lot of food and two of us. And, by the end of the weekend, neither one of us will be able to walk anymore, but we'll be fed. So
That's
that's the plan. And I'm hoping to do some Zoom stuff on Thanksgiving. So maybe I can spend time with friends that I wouldn't typically see at the holidays. We'll see.
Yeah, my family's we're all going to have some kind of food in front of us, and we're going to have a Zoom on for Thanksgiving dinner. Just, we all eat at different times, but we'll all have either appetizer or dessert together.
All right. Well, so to bring it back to everyone's burning pit stop questions, Paul, tell us the story again of how you started the Boilermakers.
Oh my gosh. Well, here's the thing. Like, I had a kind of a similar band in high school for a little while,
Oh, really?
and then when I was in college, basically, like, the band director from the college jazz band got a call from a professor who was retiring, who liked old jazz, and there was like, he didn't know who to call to play that. He wanted even more like straight up like trad jazz, old time jazz kind of band. And the guy who was the head of the band came to me because he knew I was into that kind of music, and he said, "Hey, can you put together like a little like 5-piece group for this guy?" And I said, "Sure." And I knew some other guys this was at Carnegie Mellon, and the CMU jazz band knew how to play that kind of music. So we played for this guy's retirement party, and everyone loved it. And everyone looked at me and they were like, "Hey man, like maybe we should like practice a little bit and make this a thing,
You should do this for real.
And right, and then all of a sudden, like we got like we started playing together. We got like, in those days it was a demo tape, like you made like a cassette, and this is in the '80s, and we sent it out to a couple bars, and we got a couple little gigs. We played like a happy hour thing at some place on the north side, and all of a sudden it took off little by little. And in the early days, we played a lot more trad jazz. And then when the swing thing hit, we just kind of like moved our repertoire from like the 20s to the 30s. It wasn't like that hard to do, and just adapted to that aspect of things. And it was just basically, but it was always just about playing good jazz. That was what, didn't matter what era we were playing from, and we tried to do a little bit of that tonight. I tried to throw in a few like of the older style tunes. Stuff that I used to do when I was younger, and that's a nice thing about playing for dancers, is because they always appreciate if you can play in a set tunes from the 20s, from the 30s, and the 40s live, which is something that my band can do at the drop of a hat, but not every band can do that. But I figured that out early on playing for dancers, that they really appreciate it, because that appeals to different aspects of dancing as well as for us with repertoire, so yeah, that's a long-winded answer to a short question. That's how I always roll.
Yeah, but apparently everybody in the chat loved your long-winded answer, because now the question is, would you ever be willing to start a podcast?
Oh my gosh. I guess, I don't know. Would it, if people were interested? I don't really know.
I can see in the chat, there's like, somebody was like, "Can Paul start a chat?" And everyone was like, "Yes, please, Paul, podcast. Let us listen to you talk."
You'll help me, Arielle. You help me out.
Absolutely. It would be my honor. It would be an absolute pleasure. Okay, so now we have a question for our pit stop folks. What was it like trying to plan a virtual, event as opposed to an in-person event?
I was going to let Sara, our
So yeah, should I
yeah,
try to
field that one.
So the funny thing is, it was really weird that I got a full night's sleep last night. That's weird.
That never happens at PittStop. What
that
event were you at?
My husband said, like, is this one of those things where you're going to be up all night again? And I was like, no, I'm not actually. So either way, so the funny part for me today was, as I'm having just a normal morning, I was texting Emily and I was like, I feel really weird that I'm not like doing something, like I'm not like, do I just log in at 7:30? And she's like, yeah, that's it. And I said, this is not natural. No, so for planning the event, like on one hand, we decided last spring it was pretty clear that we couldn't guess what November would look like. You know, we had the everything will be fine by November. It's so far away. And like cold and flu season, it might actually be worse by November. And guess which one we got. But either way, so we decided sort of in the spring to table and to come back together at the end of the summer and decide which way we were moving forward. You know, do we try to do something in person or not? Super glad this is the choice we made. So I would say my short idea is just that it was just a lot of stop, go. Like, are we doing this? Are we not? Like, do you wanna? Cause like, I'll do it if you want to, but if you don't want to, like, everybody would understand. And the way tonight went, I'm just super glad we decided to go for it. So for me, it was a lot of like panic, relax.
Well, that sounds very normal. I was cracking up today because I was running around like, oh my God, I didn't get the bed made. Oh my God, I didn't do this. And oh my God, I didn't do this. And it felt awfully like a normal pit stop. How many things did I not get done? Why didn't I get all my work done? But it was, you know, I mean, thanks to City of Asylum, especially, there was just a whole ton that they took care of for us, which made this, you know, much easier to manage. We would have been going a lot more crazy without that help.
Yeah, and I would also think as of, was it Wednesday when we got the word that the regulations had changed? So, you know, Wednesday, I admit we were sort of frustrated, and that I was having one of those nights that I was like, all right, I see the signs, it's just not meant to be. And so I give so much thanks to Alexis, who at that point, when I'm like waving my white flag, like Alexis kicked it into overgear. And it was like, here's what we're gonna do, here's how we're gonna save this. So Thank God for you, Alexis. Yeah. You are, you know, welcome to any pit stop ever, like all the time. You're the rock star, because you really, you know, you don't know us, but you came in and you really helped out, and you put in a lot of hours in the past couple of days for us. So thanks a lot.
Speaking of which, we're having a couple of people in the chat actually asking who Alexis is, because you've seen a lot of our faces before, but we keep being like, Alexis is the most amazing. We love her so very much. But Alexis, would you mind introducing yourself? And if you can think of a fun fact to share, we have a hashtag Alexis Facts, please, which keeps
oh yes,
introduce yourself and give us a fun fact.
Yeah, sure. So I work for City of Asylum, which is really hard to describe in a short amount of time. We're an arts organization on the north side that started as a writer sanctuary program. So we take in writers who've been exiled from their home countries because they say things like, wow, the government's really bad. Can you like not be bad anymore? And the government's like, great, get out of the country. So we offer housing to those people. And just over the years of having artists living in houses on Sampsonia Way, arts programming just sort of naturally happened out of that. And actually, specifically jazz music was one of the things that we're known for. So the very first artist that we had was a Chinese poet who doesn't speak any English and really loved performing and had this really loud and energetic style. So they got jazz musicians, and he would read his poetry, and the jazz musicians would play like the interpretations of what he was saying to like make it more accessible to people so you could get the feeling of it through the music. So jazz is our thing. So we do lots of public programming, and jazz is the reason that Paul knew to reach out to us. So we have a whole bunch of, so the writers all live on Samsonia Way, which is an alley. It's where the mattress factory is actually, so a bunch of our buildings down the street. And then we also own a building on North Avenue, and that's our sort of main building. It's called Alphabet City. If you've ever been confused about City of Asylum and Alphabet City being like, are they two different organizations? Are they different names for the city? City of Asylum is the organization, Alphabet City is the building. It's confusing. Anyway, the building is it was renovated very recently, and so we had a lot of infrastructure there. We stream stuff from there all the time. So Paul plays with us with various jazz bands a whole bunch. I think you were with Tom Wentz like 4 saxophone group in August,
Yep.
I believe. And so when PittStop Lindy Hop was looking for a home, Paul reached out to me. I'm the tech director at City of Asylum, and said, hey, we have this group. You have a venue that can live stream. Can we make this happen?
We're so grateful that you did. Thank you so much for doing this. Like we truly could not have done this without you. You have been just a godsend to us. So thank you so much.
I
But
was
you're not getting
happy
away
to
without
help.
a fun fact.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. No, I love fun facts.
The people need to know. We need a fun fact.
Okay. So, this sounds kind of braggy, and that's not what I wanted to say, but I saw somebody comment on the fact that I had a Nike swoosh on my t-shirt. This was just the first t-shirt I grabbed out of my pile because I didn't know I was going to be on camera. And it's just a random t-shirt. I found at Goodwill, but it's from the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, which I went to for fun, just to watch.
That's cool.
Mostly, I was interested in going to Seoul, South Korea, because I like Korean pop music. There
I've
it
played in
is.
Korea twice.
Yeah. Didn't you play there, Paul?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I took my band to Korea 2 times. Yep.
To Seoul or a different city?
We flew into Seoul, but we played actually on Jeju Island, which is known as like the Hawaii of the Orient. It's this like beautiful volcanic island just off of it's like a 40-minute flight from Seoul, and you go there and it's like Hawaii, but you're in the Far East. Like it's further east, I guess. East west, however you want to call it. But there was a swing festival there, and we played there twice. We were the first American band to play actually for a swing dancing in Korea. Yep.
Wow.
We gotta talk about this in person sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
I've watched TV shows of so many K-pop idols on Jeju Island.
Oh, so okay. But
I know that it's like
I'm not a K-popper, but
a vacation spot is all.
For sure. It's beautiful. It's crazy beautiful. And they, even though we are a swing band, they treated us like rock stars. Believe me when I tell you. They rolled out the red carpets for us. It was crazy. We had a ball there.
Okay, so what other countries have you been to with the band? Like, this is why we need a podcast.
The last place we played for a real gig for swing dancers was Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. So we've played a bunch of different cities in Canada, Korea, Germany, Switzerland, England, Scotland, Sweden. I think that's a list for now. Hopefully for now. Maybe there'll be more later.
It's my dream to get you on a Western Europe tour right when the dance festival I go to every summer is there, and I can teach with you at the dance festival. And
Wow.
This has been my dream for years, but I don't know if I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, and like this time of year, between PittStop Lindy Hop, and then next week would have been International Lindy Hop Championships in DC. And then the last 5 years I've played for the Snowball in Stockholm, Sweden, which of course will not happen. So it's like, the end of the year has become insanity for me with all these with the regular holidays, like everyone, is dealing with their families and stuff. And then for me, it's always like a super busy time playing all these wonderful events, and to have them not happening this year is hard. It's really hard. And again, like somebody else was saying, like not being able to get together with family even for the holidays. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. All these different things, that we're used to having every year. And PittStop is like kind of like the first. To PittStop, to me, it's always like the beginning of the holiday season. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. It's like starting the first celebration of the time period,
Yeah, that's absolutely so true. On a lighter note, just because I kept seeing notes from it, Alexis, do you have a favorite K-pop band? Totally not PittStop related, but the people want to know.
It's like choosing children, but I would have to say Vix. If anybody out there knows, some other close
I'm sure we'll hear about it in the chat.
include Got7, FX, Red Velvet, BAP, Mamamoo. That'll do.
Alexis, we have a Facebook event. If you want to just say hi, and then people can message you there. Yeah, feel free. You don't have to, no, but you're welcome to. Speaking of fun facts, Paul, we've been requested if you have a favorite hashtag jazz fact, whatever that means to you.
Jazz fact? Like just a random jazz fact?
I think people would really love a random jazz fact.
Well, to make it PittStop related, people don't necessarily know random jazz fact, and you can do a little quick search on your Googler, that there are probably as many famous jazz musicians that were born and raised in Pittsburgh as almost anywhere in the country. And we don't get the credit that New Orleans, New York, Chicago get, but do your research, look it up. It'll take you literally like 3 seconds, the beauty of the internets. There are so many amazing jazz musicians that came from Pittsburgh going back to the earliest days in the teens and 20s all the way up to now. It's unbelievable. So do your research and listen to these people, because like for my Pittsburgh peeps, like these are our people. And I live in Friendship, which is close to like East Liberty, Shady Side, East End, and just from like down the street from me alone, grew up Mary Lou Williams, Errol Garner, Billy Strayhorn, who wrote most of Duke Ellington's hits and was his collaborator. And for you dancers, Gene Kelly, right down the street from where I'm sitting right now. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of people on that list. On the north side, where City of Asylum is, where Alexis is probably right now, Roy Eldridge, one of the greatest trumpet players to ever live in jazz. I mean, there's so many. One of the earliest jazz pianists, Earl Hines and his orchestra, one of the greatest in swing. Duquesne, Pennsylvania, right down the street from where we are. So look up your Pittsburgh history and know who you're, like when you say I'm from Pittsburgh, that means something.
Yeah, wow.
There was at least 1 year and maybe a couple years that occasionally during the Saturday afternoon when we usually do DJ music, the DJ would do just Pittsburgh connected music for the whole set. And people were like, you had no idea. It's like,
that's nice to know, because I never knew that. Thank you for letting me know that, because I mean, I don't show up for the afternoon DJ sessions. So I'm like sleeping all day.
Getting ready for the
We
rest
on the committee are too.
Yeah.
But that's nice to know. But yeah, it's easy to find all that information and look up your Pittsburgh jazz musicians, because there's so many greats that came from here. The legacy is great, and kudos to City of Asylum and for presenting jazz programming. And trust me when I tell you, because I've been involved in a number of them that have that sort of like Pittsburgh connection, and just keeping sort of the legacy alive, of jazz in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Paul, we're being requested if you, because you don't always necessarily have the opportunities to perform right now, please consider, based on suggestions from the chat, starting an online class and making a Pittsburgh jazz tour. Just considerations for you.
Okay, good ideas all.
For later. Yeah, the people are fascinated with everything you have to say. That was a good fact too. That was awesome. Totally not swing dance or jazz music related for everyone. What are your COVID hobbies, and have you picked up any new ones in these trying times?
Eating.
But have you been cooking or just eating?
Just eating. I had hoped to, during COVID time, pick up a new instrument, a very old new instrument, but I haven't had time to do it because I've been very busy with work, but I'm hoping to learn to play the hurdy-gurdy.
Very cool. Has anybody else picked up anything interesting?
Watch so much Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I always have these like, oh, now I'll be walking the dogs every day. It never really came true. So, no, but I have been watching a lot of Great British Bake Off, which has me convinced that I'm now a baker. So if you watch enough of it, you become it. So either way,
I can make a sponge. I can do that.
shoe pastry any day. Yeah, that's fine.
And then you like start critiquing them. You're like, no, use a French meringue, not an Italian. Woody.
Soggy bottom.
You know you're stirring too vigorously. It's just, you're going to knock all the air out of it. Come on. So yeah, no.
Also, we're being told that Sarah picked up grad school as a COVID hobby. So shout out to that. Just
That's
a side
not
hobby.
a hobby. But yeah, like I'm gonna try to be a master of something. So we'll see.
Okay, so then Alexis, what is your Netflix recommendation then? If this is your new hobby, then what is on your watch list, or what do you recommend watching?
Oh my gosh, I have been so many TV shows that I've made it through. Right now, I'm watching The 100, a CW show. That, I mean, if I just say the word CW show, it's like so ridiculously dramatic and over the top. I can't even, but it makes for a great escape because like it's basically the end of the world in every single episode. So it's a great getaway. I've also been doing a lot of live streaming, actually, not just for work, but like outside of work, with friends. So my hobby is just more work.
Can we watch your live stream?
I mean, yes. So even more niche. Specifically, I've been live streaming with some friends that are into indie fashion. And so we do these like weekend fashion events. And
very cool.
I was like, you guys are cool. I want to do tech things.
Awesome. And we're running low on time. Paul, we've gotten a couple questions. What are you drinking?
Oh, just my usual beer it's nothing fancy. I'm not like one of these fancy cocktail people. You know, like I'll drink a martini once in a while or a Manhattan. I don't go crazy. Like I have like these, I have friends that like I have some retro clothes that I wear, and obviously I play retro music, but some people like get so far into like deep dives into like retro cocktails, and I'm like, anything that has more than 3 ingredients in terms of a cocktail, like I just want to have a drink, like it's enough, you know. Now food is on the, you know, that's a whole other thing. I like to cook, that's like my hobby, so I'll go deep into like cooking stuff, but you know, I've seen a lot of people, you know, during COVID times, like posting their different cocktail of the day, like with 17 different ingredients. And I'm like, I'm not going and buying like 14 different kinds of bitters. It's not happening. I'm a simple guy.
Well, you all heard it here first. For anyone who wants to buy Paul a drink, now you know. You know.
Yeah. And a real martini. Not vodka is not a martini. It's gin and dry vermouth and an olive. That's it. That's a martini. Anything else, you call it something else.
Good. Take notes, everyone. We're going to quiz you on this next year. What is Paul's favorite drink? Okay, so we're running out of time, but I would just love to maybe have some a little bit of escapism for everybody. What would be your dream for PittStop 2021? Obviously in person.
So
Like, what would be your perfect pit stop?
my perfect. So I just have to smell my perfect pick stop. We were super all in on like a big 2020, like bring back the 20s. Like we were gonna, I don't think it's too wrong. Like we were gonna have more bands than normal, and we were gonna have more of everything. We have some beautiful artwork that we commissioned, and so it was gonna be big and it was gonna be glitzy, and so yeah, that's mine. It's coming back one of these days. I'm not sure if 21 is the year to go big either, but it's happening. Before the 20s are over, we're doing the 20s. Like we're going big.
That was my reaction exactly. The pit stop that we had planned for this year has to happen another time because it was going to be great. And
So right along with that, it's 11 o'clock at night right now. If it was a normal year like it was supposed to be, I would be standing in front of a 14-piece big band right now, playing in front of 500 plus dancers. And it was PittStop actually about 4 or so years ago that asked me for the first time to put together a big band, because normally I would lead the band that you saw tonight with maybe 1 or 2 people more, as an added band. And when the big band thing started becoming like a trendy thing, they asked me to do it. And I said, sure, I'll put it together. And I had to get a book. And it kind of kicked off from there. And I led the big band like multiple times per year since then because it was so successful. And I added to the book. And now my book of arrangements is as good as anybody in the country. And I think I put together a great band. And I really was proud of it. And when I thought about that tonight, it was a bummer because all these great musicians and the response that we got from the very first time I did it, and I don't remember how many years ago it was, three or four, but whatever. And every time I did it since, people just love that big band. And so I hope that we can get to do that again and just really just play like the good stuff for you guys with the best musicians I can put together and all the best charts from all the best bands and really like bring it. I mean, that's what everybody loves to do. And all the guys, they get to do, they get to do that big band with me only a couple times a year. But all the musicians always tell me, oh, it's so great to play these songs from the great bands and play at our best and for these people that appreciate it so much. And that to me is like, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Oh, my heart. Okay, and so Alexis, you've never been to a pit stop before, but for our 2021, will you come?
Yeah.
Join us?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know how to dance? We can teach you how to dance.
So one time we had this like swing dance event when I was in college. And so I know the basics.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
it.
Perfect. Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you so much to all of the PittStop community who's not on here, who worked very tirelessly to make this happen for months. Thank you so much to Paul and Boilermaker Jazz Band for the amazing music. You just bring everybody so much joy. Your performance was amazing. Your music is outstanding. You guys are so talented, and we are so grateful to have you in Pittsburgh. I feel so spoiled now. We have such this wealth of beautiful music here. I'd never move anywhere else. Thank you so much to Alexis and City of Asylum, and for everybody. Thank you guys out there in the audience. You made this event amazing, and it was so good to be here. Well, Paul?
All of this wouldn't happen without the committee and all the people who come. That's the thing. It's like everybody who shows up and loves the event year after year. I couldn't do what I do without all of you all. I mean, I love that you appreciate me, but without you all, I couldn't do what I do. And that's what like keeps me alive, playing that music. You understand? So thank you all. 20 years you've been hiring me to play for you guys. It's crazy. So.
And we're going to keep doing it. We are going to keep doing it. So thank you all so much out there. A big thank you to everyone who donated. We really could not do this event without you guys. Thank you so much for being so active in the chat. It was so much fun to hear from you all and get to see so many familiar faces, and shout out to our good friends. So fingers crossed, everybody stay safe. Make sure you are healthy and safe, because we are really hoping that next year we can see all your beautiful faces in person. Thank you all again so much for coming. Thank you, Paul and the Boilermaker Jazz Band.